Playing for India was an honor and privilege. Cricket took us everywhere, including Pakistan. Any match with this Western neighbor is often compared to a battle. But today is a day we remember the famous battlefield of Kargil through the story of a real life hero, an Indian Air Force fighter pilot who had to make the difficult choice of abandoning his damaged jet plane over enemy territory. He spent over a week there as a prisoner of war. Unlike my protected experience in that country as a sportsperson, his time there was challenging. He was brought back to India through diplomatic efforts. I would think that it is no coincidence that his parents named him after a legend from our own scriptures. I salute his courage and valor and that of our men and women in uniform who make it possible for us to live a life of comfort and freedom. Over to Group Captain Nachaketa, listening to whom would be an inspiration for us all.
I am an old air veteran now, but back in the 90s, that is 1999, I was a young fighter pilot when the Kargil war took place. I was a part of a potent Indian Air Force strike force. More than 2 decades have passed since the Indo-Pak conflict, where we lost 527 soldiers who were martyred safeguarding the frontiers of a nation. We are duty bound as Indian citizens to remember and pay our respects to our defense personnel.
Pakistan's military aims were pretty straightforward. They wanted to cut off the strategic National Highway 1A which connects Srinagar to Leh. They wanted to alter the status of the line of control, which has always been their plan. And of course, they wanted to give impetus to insurgency in the valley and elsewhere in Jammu and Kashmir. And at the political level, Pakistan wanted to exploit the situation that was to arise as aftermath of these military aims to internationalize the Kashmir issue and facilitate negotiations from a position of strength. The 26th May when the air operation started, Operation Safed Sagar, a lot of Air Force aircraft deployed all over the border. We were doing a lot of patrols, a lot of intelligence and surveillance missions. So when the air operation started, our chief made it very clear that the instructions from the Prime Minister's office directly is that there is no crossover of the border. So we need to be very careful operating fighters at speeds of 1000 kilometers per hour, dropping weapons which are in thousands of kgs. But we have to be very careful that we don't cross the border and stay on our side. And secondly, our army troops are very, very close in the areas where we are likely to drop weapons. So we need to be very, very careful that we don't lead into something called fratricide, where we have a kill on our own troops. So in these limitations, the air operation started on 26th of May. We were using a whole lot of fighters which included MiG-21s, MiG-23s, MiG-27s, MiG-29s and Jaguars and Mirages. I was a MiG-27 pilot, which is basically a bomber which carries weapons which include bombs, rockets and guns. And 26th May was the first missions which we were a part of. It's called the 9th Squadron, the Wolf Pack, and under the able command of then Wing Commander Avtar Singh, or Otter as we call him fondly, we all started our missions. First day missions were not very effective because of weather. That area has got a lot of mountainous terrain, a lot of valleys. So in case of cloud cover, we are not able to pick up our targets very clearly. So that happens, affected a lot of targets, and we were not able to do a lot of justice to our targets. The terrain in Kargil sector is very rugged, glaciated and extremely inhospitable. Heights range from almost 12,000 to 18,000 feet, and in winters these areas get very heavy snowfall which totally impedes movement. Due to these conditions, both the forces, the Indian and Pakistani forces, usually fall back in winters, and Pakistan took advantage of these gaps, and in places close to Kargil called Batalik, Dras, Mashko and Kaksar, they carried out intrusions during the winter months from December of 98 to April-May of 99. The entire operation was planned with complete secrecy, and the details of the plan were not even discussed or disseminated with the troops on the ground. It was what we call a need-to-know basis operation. Even during the execution of the entire plan, the troops on the ground were not informed of the exact motive and methodology of operations.
So the location of the entire Kargil area is such that it connects Srinagar Valley to the northeastern part of Ladakh and Thois. So in case the enemy is able to disrupt the line of communication on the road between this and Ladakh and Thois, then we are in a bit of a problem, because our only way to connect to our people at Leh and Thois is through Manali, which has got a lot of weather restrictions. This is the aspect which Pakistan was able to read, and they wanted to exploit this. As far as tactical part is concerned, the entire Kargil area is full of mountains and low level. The entire mountainous part, normally during winters, there is the troops recede, which as per the mutual understanding, so that in the harsh lower temperatures of winters, the troops are not exposed to the weather. And usually when the weather becomes better in the summers, again troops come back and occupy the positions. So the plan which General Musharraf had made was, as the troops were withdrawing in December, Indian troops had come back, but by devious planning, he continued his troops and augmented them with some additional troops so that they don't go back. And when our troops were not observing all the positions very minutely, they started something called ingression into our own area. So by the time our troops, sometime in the month of May 1999, were getting back, and they got some inputs from intelligence and localites of that area, that is when first time our army realized that what the positions were being held by our own forces in the normal peace time were now being held by enemy troops. And from in the initial 2-3 weeks of May, a lot of activity started, and we got a lot of inputs from intelligence, satellite, sensors, human int, and by the time we got the complete picture, sometime in the month of May, that is specific is 18th May, is when the Indian Air Force got instructions from higher command to start deployment. In peacetime, the Air Force deploys slightly behind. We keep going there for once in a while, but whenever there is an onset of battle or a likely commencement of war, we come to the forward positions. So on 18th May, a lot of units which were deployed behind in peacetime were told to move to the forward zones. We are somewhere in Punjab. I was flying something called a MiG-27, a Bahadur aircraft, and we are somewhere in Punjab. So on 18th May, we moved to a location which is Srinagar. So from 18th May till about 26th of May, that is onset of actual air operations, this entire 8 days was busy in trying to set up our base at Srinagar, get acclimatized to the area, logistic support of all the weapons, everything.
The intrusions by the Pakistani troops finally came to light during May 99, when some local shepherds in that area had seen some movement across and close to the LOC. Our army undertook its own patrolling, and finally when we realized the extent of the intrusion, the information was passed up to the government, and the government of India decided to launch Operation Vijay to evict the intruders from our side of LOC. The entire operation, along with the Safed Sagar part, that is the Air Force component, finally pushed across all the intruders back by July 26th, declared as the Kargil Vijay Divas. Please remember, each and every soldier of a nation, in olive greens, blues or whites, employed on land, in air or water, serving, retired or a martyr, deserves the highest of admiration and respect, for in doing the noble selfless duty, without any fear of today and care for tomorrow, they ensure that our todays and tomorrows are forever enriched with happiness and freedom. So be empathetic with your precious thoughts towards our soldiers, airmen and sailors, and remember, homage to our martyrs is not just a noble deed but an honorable duty. Thank you and Jai Hind.